I'm Stacey Fusell. I'm the rector of the Episcopal Church of the Ascension. I came here in 2010, which seems hard to believe that it's been that long. I'm actually a volunteer chaplain here. Having a local hospital has been very important for my family, for myself. My youngest daughter is diabetic. She was diagnosed when she was 9. She has gotten truly world-class care through the Children's Hospital in Buffalo. But we have a primary care physician here in Bradford who does an excellent job monitoring her and collaborating with the experts and the specialists that we need throughout this wider region. We have an awesome state-of-the-art mammography center here, which for cancer prevention, particularly for us women, is very important. My mother, she's now actually a resident at the Pavilion. We have some wonderful nursing facilities and residential facilities connected to a hospital. Emergent care is available when folks need it. It's just a huge blessing.
I grew up in Florida. I met Sean. We lived in Miami together for a little while before we decided to get married and move up here to Western New York.
I grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania, but went to college at St. Bonaventure, so I always wanted to live in the area. Fell in love with snowboarding in Ellicottville, and it just made a lot of sense to move there.
Finn was born here at Olean General. In that Snowvember storm back in November of 2014, he's a kid with some chronic health issues, so we have been here often, and it has meant a lot to us to be able to have healthcare kind of in our backyard.
Just making sure that there's somewhere close by that we can take him that's trusted, and it's been a positive experience.
He has got pretty significant asthma, which is one of the reasons that we end up in here often. And there have been many occasions, all of a sudden we have to call 911 and get an ambulance to get here. He also has a blood disorder. Injuries become pretty significant for him. So there have been a couple of occasions where he's hurt himself and we've had to come in and get x-rays or scans of sorts to make sure all is okay for him. There was the time that we came in and had a routine procedure done at Children's Hospital in Buffalo and struggled with anesthesia. And we had come home, but it was not going well and we needed to come back into the hospital. There was a female doctor on duty. She took really good care of him, facilitated actually helicopter transport for him back to Children's Hospital. And she did it quickly. Within a couple of hours of coming in the door here, we were in flight on our way back to Buffalo where Finn needed to be at that time.
We're Bobbie and Charlie Onishanis, both originally from Du Bois. I worked for the hospital for 15 years, was the concierge out front. I also worked in outpatient registration. Charlie was already working here. I got well grounded in Bradford, developed some great friendships.
Right now, I'm going through cancer, stage 4, and I was able to do my chemo here in the Bradford Hospital. And it was appreciative to be here. Just a few miles away versus traveling. The nurses here and the chemo system here was linked with Roswell up in Buffalo. They related all the information back and forth. There was never any kind of hesitation or problem. We're looking at possibly more chemo here in the near future, and I'd like to do it here.
Anything to basically lighten your load, to take something off the plate helps.
They gave us a hazmat suit in case the pump that they sent me home with
Leaked.
Yeah, ruptured or leaked. And we weren't quite positive of whether the hazmat suit was for her or for me, but we knew that whatever would happen, we were only a few miles away from getting back here to help. That was always reassuring and a lot more comfortable.
I've lived here all my life. I was born here in Olean. I always wanted to be around family.
I came to Olean when I went to St. Francis. I grew up in Rushford and then came to St. Francis Hospital School of Nursing. Graduated in '75 and got a job first at the Mother House, then the Olean Medical Group.
I started out at Bonnet as a security guard, then I went into Allegheny Police Department, and I was there until I retired. I was shoveling snow in my own driveway, and I ruptured a disc in my back, and I gained a lot of weight with medication and stuff. And in 2011, I had a gastric bypass to lose weight. Right after the operation, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I just called the ambulance, and I came here to the hospital, and I don't remember anything about it. Found out that I was bleeding inside, and then they took me by helicopter back to Buffalo. I died. They put 13 units of blood back into me. And if it hadn't have been for here, acting as quick as they did, I wouldn't be here.
He doesn't remember much for about 4 months. He was in intensive care unit in Buffalo. I tried to work. I came back and forth when I could. In the evening, I would say to the nurse in ICU, it's your decision, you know, do I go home or do I stay? Whatever they would say, I mean, I was there. We were so lucky then to be able to come back to Olean, and he could rehab here. Just the services from the Olean General have been, you know, wonderful, so that he could come home. They knew I was a nurse and I was determined he was going to be home, so a lot of it was just determination.
And the love for each other.
The love for each other. Put 3,000 miles on the car driving back and forth over the 4 months, and God got us through.
I've lived in the Olean community a lifetime. Born and raised here. I've gone to school here, met my wife and raised a family, started a business here.
I grew up in Salamanca and Franklinville, moved to Olean for school and job opportunities here in Olean. One of those job opportunities led me to my husband.
Carol, my son Mike, the three of us are corporate officers at MJ Painting, and that flows into contributing to Olean General Hospital. When you start seeing your family have experiences at the hospital, you say to yourself, thank God we have a facility that can take care of us the right way. So when I sit in the waiting room and everybody's been well taken care of and well attended, I see how clean the place is. I have a soft spot for Olean General Hospital. I have for years.
I'm going to be emotional on this one a little bit. A drunk driver hit us. And if it wasn't for Olean General Hospital, ambulances to get us all to the emergency room, thank God we weren't hurt. But if it hadn't been for that, I don't know what we would have done. We've both had procedures at the outpatient center. And I cannot tell you how great that place is. The feeling that you go in under anesthesia and the guys and gals telling you what they're going to do for you, and it makes you feel so comfortable. You drift off and you know you're going to be up, you're going to wake up.
When you lose electric, you lose power at the house, and it's out for a couple of hours. All of a sudden you realize how important electricity is. When one has to run to the emergency room, you all of a sudden realize how important your local hospital is. Like electricity, what would you do without it?
In 2012, I became a volunteer here, and then I've been happy ever since.
He wanted to give back to the people that had helped him when he was so sick. He's lucky he's alive. We got a second chance at life. We've taken care of each other for, well, almost 45 years.
Next month.
Yeah, so it's good.
Finn is an unpredictable kid. You can't plan on when he's going to need health care. You just need it to be there when you need it. So if we didn't have something like this accessible to us, it would not be safe for us actually to stay in Cat County or in Ellicottville. We would have to move elsewhere in order to make sure his needs are met.
And Harrison's been here several times too over the years. I think we neglected to mention that. I mean, he was in daycare and he got your head stuck between two walls. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So they were really good at keeping Harrison calm and letting him know everything was going to be okay, that the wall had not affected him permanently, and they sent us home.
I know when the original diagnosis was done on me, I was a little reluctant to accept that. And there's so many thoughts racing through your little mind that you just really can't comprehend. But through discussions with her and talking to friends and family, you know, it helped out quite a bit.
Our resources around here are very, very important. We need to talk.